My Hero One's Justice 2 is getting a second season of DLC. 5 more characters will be coming out starting this summer according to a Bandai Namco tweet, because that's how you announce a season 2 of DLC. Just send tweet. We're gonna talk about what we know for sure, and then we're gonna try to predict which characters are coming for this season 2. As I usually do, I gave my Twitch chat a chance to predict which characters are coming by running a series of polls to see who they think will be added. If you want to join the fun someday, just make sure you're following me on Twitch. The link is down below. I stream every weekday. But first, we need to set some ground rules. Season 2 will feature 5 characters. That's how many slots there are, and they also mention new heroes and villains, plural for both. So out of these 5 characters, we're gonna need at least 2 heroes and 2 villains. The final character can be either. And sure, this phrase might just be, you know, some marketing, because if they had 4 heroes and 1 villain planned, they would still say new heroes and villains, because that sounds way better than new heroes and that 1 villain we needed to add because we ran out of characters. But we're gonna take their word at face value, and if it turns out that it's false and we are not getting plural, multiple villains and multiple heroes, then we'll just be very mad and disappointed. And final rule, the DLC will start coming out this summer. If they keep releasing a new character every 3 months as they have been releasing for season 1, then the first character would be out by the end of August this year, and the last character would be out by the end of August of next year. In fact, here are all the release dates that I've calculated based on their release schedule so far. This is not official, this is just my calculations based on how they've been releasing characters. And if you look at the dates, what this means is that DLC 1, 2, and 3 will happen before there's a season 6 out there, but DLC 4 and 5 may happen during a season 6. It's hard to say because they haven't announced a date for season 6 yet, so it's way too soon for that, but we'll keep in mind for this prediction that DLCs 1 through 3 will only feature characters up to season 5, but we may dive into season 6 with DLCs 4 and 5. So, what did my chat predict? Let's start from the beginning. The first hero they predicted was Shinso, and I completely agree. Shinso is the most obvious DLC they could do, and at the same time, I have no idea how his quirk would work in-game. Brainwashing your opponent, being able to control them, I wonder how that's gonna work with this game's mechanics, but it's definitely exciting given the developer's track record for making really fun movesets while staying faithful to the source material. I'm honestly surprised that Shinso was not in season 1, but given his recent upgrades, it makes total sense. Let's get this version of Shinso, should be cool as hell to play. That's one hero down, let's predict a villain next. And the first villain that chat predicted was Reed Destro, which I'm sure many of you haven't heard of, and that's fine, we're not here to spoil anything. He's a main villain that will show up very soon, and he's a really important character. In fact, I barely slept today because I've been reading 50 chapters of the manga, just catching up on seasons 5 and 6, making sure that I was talking about stuff that I knew today. So yeah, barely no sleep, just to confirm that I think he's very likely for this prediction. I think Chad is onto something. The things I do for videos. Next character from Chad was yet another villain, and that's a longtime favorite, Kurogiri, who's been absent for a really long time. Kurogiri has been one of the most requested characters ever since the first one's Justice. But I also feel like the demand for Kurogiri has somehow diminished recently. Perhaps because he hasn't shown up in the anime as of late. I'm not gonna lie, this prediction is kind of a long shot, and I don't know if I agree, but I'll give you my prediction later. Kurogiri will be the DLC 3 happening before season 6 starts. So, moving on to DLC 4, chat went back to predicting heroes, and it's the character in every Draco thumbnail, Mirko, the bunny hero. I was 100% convinced she would not be DLC for this season. That is, until I did the math, looked at the dates, and saw that the season pass was going into anime season 6. Mirko will play a bigger role in season 6, which makes her not only a viable pick, but also a very likely pick. Whenever you have the chance to add one of the top 10 heroes to your game, then you do that. You add one of the top 10. If they're active in the show, if they have some battles that you can pull from to make a moveset, then you do that because power sells DLC. And a top 10 hero, they have the power, the personality, the charisma, they're perfect. So Mirko will be our 4th DLC. With that, we already have 2 heroes and 2 villains, so the final character could be either one of them. And chat chose Ibara, the Vine hero. A character that showed a lot of promise in the festival arc, definitely one of the cooler characters from Class B, and she would be the Class B representative for this season. Even though season 1 DLC actually had 2 Class B representatives, and they have an entire arc dedicated to them here in season 5, which is the one currently airing. Chad only predicted 1 representative for Class B, and if we're getting a new one, then I agree that Ibara will be the one they choose. I wonder if she'll be a zoner. She doesn't look like she moves much, which in this game is a really bad thing. Just ask Rapamains. And that would conclude season 2 of DLC according to my Twitch chat, and I agree with a total of 2 characters. Yeah, sorry. I agree with Shinso, Shinso, and I agree with Mirko. I think Redestro is very important, and I almost didn't remove him, but I also think his quirk is really hard to put in this game. How do I explain this without spoiling? The stress of explaining this in a video is too big for me to express myself in game. I'm gonna keep Shinso where he is as the first DLC, but I'm gonna make Mirko the last DLC. The other three are gonna change. The second DLC will come out after Season 5 ends, and that finale is gonna be really strong. More important than Redestro is gonna be a new powered up version of Shigaraki. I think my Twitch chat neglected the power of duplicate characters, which is normal. I think most of us, when we make a wish list or a prediction, we're thinking of new characters and not old ones with new powers. Because My Hero is one of those shows that just has so many characters to pull from, but if you're able to sell the main characters again, that's usually a good idea business-wise. And this is not my wish list, this is my prediction. So the second DLC would be a new Shigaraki. The third DLC would come out early next year, which is in between seasons 5 and 6. This will be the perfect time window to release the high-end Nomu. The one that attacked Endeavor recently, being able to go toe-to-toe with a new #1 hero is something that cannot be easily ignored. And as I've said before, power sells DLC. Hood, the high-end Nomu, will be my third pick. By the time DLC 4 comes out, Season 6 will have started and just in time to release a new version of Deku. We'll call him Air Force Deku. The name comes from his Air Force gloves that he first used against Gentle, but that's not all he has. In fact, very soon you'll start to see Deku taking his quirk a step further, and I mean very soon, like this week's episode soon. The quirk will only be further developed. For now it's just a teaser, but by Season 6 maybe we'll have enough for a brand new character. And then we close Season 2 of DLC with Mirko. How sure am I of this prediction? I'm really not, like at all. Season 1 had so many curveballs. I think Hawks was very obvious. I think Gentle was obvious as well. Mei was one of those characters that I always thought she would be a very cool DLC, but I don't know if they'll do it. I was very happy to see her. And then Kendo and Tetsu were absolute curveballs for me. I would have never predicted them over Shinso or Ibara. But these curveballs also keep a season pass exciting, and it's fun to see them tackle characters with unique quirks. So to recap, here's my Twitch chat prediction, and here's my prediction. And just so you know, we're on the same page. I wouldn't want duplicate characters either. In fact, my wish list is kind of a mix between these two. I would keep Shinso, Mirko, and Ibara. I would absolutely love to see those three. And then I would add Kamui Woods. I think he's the coolest character design in the whole show. And I also think his quirk could be fun to play. This is the most underdeveloped character in the entire series. How do you just skip this man after introducing him in the first episode? Kamui Woods needs more screen time, even if that screen time only happens in-game. And my final character for the wish list, it's too hard to pick. I want to pick All Might's Master, but we don't know much about how she fights or what her powers are, so even though I like the character, that wouldn't be a great DLC. Edgeshot, a freaking ninja. I can't pick him for the same reason. He just doesn't fight in these seasons. His moveset would be a spoiler. I want to pick Principal Nezu because I want to play as that little dog mouse bear, but his quirk is intelligence, and I feel like that wouldn't be the most fun thing to use. I mean, have you seen my videos? Does it look like I use intelligence? So my pick for my wish list will be 13. Her black hole quirk looks like it would be able to create a crazy moveset, but I also already know that she's gonna be a slow ass character and she's gonna end up in Rappa or Fat Gum tier. Nevertheless, fun over competitiveness, 13 is my final pick. But this is a wish list. There's no way this is coming true. We'll see what the future holds, but if anything, it will definitely be exciting. My Hero is a rich show full of fun characters to explore, so it will be interesting to see which ones they pick. And let's see if they learn from their mistakes this time, because as soon as they released Hawks in Season 1, the rest of the DLC just got immediately data mined. And I think it's less exciting if we already know who's coming out a year from now. Anyway, who would you like to see coming for Season 2? Let's make this one character. It's a really hard exercise. If you could only pick one character for Season 2, who would it be? Let me know in those comments. And if you want to join the fun next time I do a prediction, make sure to follow me on Twitch. I stream every weekday. And as always, thank you very much for watching. My name is Globku, and I'll see you next time. Bye.